Deal or no deal, Creative Finance Edition. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through 5 different real estate investment deals. I'm talking subject to and seller finance. This video is gonna teach you how to know if something is a good deal or a bad deal. So if you're wholesaling, how do you know if you have a good deal? If you're investing, how do you know if you have a good deal? Well, I'm gonna show you right now. This is Pace Morby's free Creative Finance Real Estate Group. And if you're not part of it, you should absolutely join it. I've learned so much just being part of this group. By the way, I haven't even looked at any of these deals, so I am analyzing these live in real time. No editing. This is absolutely real. You're gonna see how my brain works and how I analyze deals. Okay, let's first look at David Longoria's deal. Shout out to David Longoria. And he posted a deal in Baltimore. What the? Wait, what's MD? Wait, what's MD? Bit of fuck. Wait, what the? Oh, marijuana. I'm so dumb, bro. I'm so dumb. How do I not know that? Okay. The first thing you want to look at is the interest rate. Skip all the other things and just look at the interest rate first. There's always going to be a lot of information. Skip it. Interest rate. What is the interest rate? It is 3.875%. And this is sub 2. We're not talking seller finance for now. We're talking subject to, which means you are taking over an existing mortgage. Super cool. And the rate is only 3.875%. That is a good rate. When we're doing subject to, we are looking for rates at 2%, 3%, or 4%. If they get over 5%, then the deal is not that interesting. So this deal passes the first rule in the 5, 10, 12 rule. The deal has less than a 5% interest rate. Very good. Let's keep going. He talks more about the property, but honestly, I don't care right now. What I want to look at is the loan balance and the for sale price. So how much is he selling this deal for? Let's look. He literally isn't saying. So he's not saying how much he's selling the deal for. But we can use some quick brain right here. And he says there is no equity. If something has no equity, that means the home is selling for the amount that is debt, which means the loan balance. Because a home price is made up of 2 things. Debt, which is your mortgage, and equity, which is the amount of money that you have earned on this property with appreciation. So if this deal has no equity, that pretty much means that the selling price is the debt or the loan balance. And we can see right here that the loan balance is $308,000. So what this is telling me is that this is not going to be a hybrid deal. A hybrid deal is when you do subject to, you take over a mortgage, and you also do seller financing to pay the equity. We love deals with little to no equity. This deal has no equity, and we love that. Do you know why? That means that the investor, the end buyer, does not need to come out of pocket with a ton of cash. They can just walk into this property, take over the loan, and that's it. They don't need to bring cash to the table to pay off the seller. When you buy a home, you almost are always paying the seller hundreds of thousands of dollars because that seller has earned that money through appreciation over time. But this deal, this seller has no equity. They probably just bought the house 1 or 2 years ago. They're trying to sell and they're probably underwater on their loan. If I had to guess, I would say that the seller is behind on their payments. They haven't made their payments in a while, and now the bank is probably like, yo, we're gonna foreclose on you. So subject to is a perfect solution for this seller. Now that we understand the interest rate and the amount of money we have to come out of pocket to pay the seller, we sort of wanna know what our monthly expenses are. What is our principal, interest, taxes, and insurance? And here it does not say the PITI, so we'll have to do some more digging. We'll have to speak to David and get some more information. But what he does tell us is that it cash flows as a rental. I'm assuming this is a long-term rental, but I can't be sure. But he says it cash flows as a rental $300 a month. Now that's pretty good. We always want to see cash flow, but we would also want to ask David if these including things like property management, vacancy, maintenance, capital expenditures. I'm sure he's not. He's probably just taking PITI and saying, oh, rent is a little bit more than PITI, so it cash flows $300. And the last thing he lists out is the entry fee. The amount of money it takes to get into this deal all in, he says, is $30,000. But I would like for him to detail what that is. Is that closing costs, agent commissions? He says assignment, but how much is his assignment? Is he asking $25,000 assignment? Because that'd be way too much money. A fair assignment on this deal is probably, I don't know, 10, 15,000. You could stretch to 20,000, but that seems a little high to me. And then after I look at all the numbers, then I look at the house. I don't care about the house before I look at the numbers. And you can see the house. The house is really nice. It's turnkey. There probably won't be a lot of repairs needed. Perfect. Beautiful. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet. That's all great, but I don't care about those things unless the numbers make sense. So all in all, what do I think about this deal? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We need to get some more information from David, but honestly, let's just break this down really simply. 5, 10, 12 rule. The interest rate is under 5%. The interest rate is 3.875%. That's great. The entry fee is about 10%, right? So 30K entry and it's a $308,000 purchase price. That's like 9 point something percent. So great. And the last thing is the returns. This property probably just breaks even, but still, that's not bad. That's not bad. We would prefer to see returns above 12%, but break even is not always bad, especially as a long-term rental, because you could do things like Airbnb or midterm housing or sell this on a wrap. You could do a bunch of other creative disposition strategies. Okay, on to the next deal. But first, say hi to Soup. Say hi. Say hi, Soup. I'm giving away 100 expired listings with low rate mortgages. I'm going to skip trace them. I'll pay for everything. I'm going to give you the listings and you're going to call them and you're going to get a subject to deal. I am giving that away for free to one person who subscribes to my YouTube channel and comments down below. So just comment down below, say whatever the heck you want, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll give you those 100 free skip trace listings. Okay, back to the video. This next deal is by Scott Poor. So shout out to Scott Poor. And he has a contract for assignment, a sub 2 deal. I'll let you guys look at the house first because I know y'all are going to want to. I usually don't, but he has a ton of pictures of the property. Really nice. Can't complain. All right, Soup doesn't want to help me analyze the deal, but you'll see how beautiful this house is. It's nice. So let's get some more information on it. And it is in Georgia. Cool. Nice. So he's showing the PITI, he's showing all these things, but what is the first thing we look at? We look at the interest rate, and the interest rate is 3.5%. Is that good? Yes, that is good. Is it as good as 2%? No, but I can't complain about a 3.5% rate. That is pretty dang good. So what's the next thing we look at? PITI? No! We look at the loan balance and the offer price. What is it selling for? So the mortgage is $376,000. Now, what's it selling for? Is it selling for $1 million? Because that's a lot of equity right there. We're going to pay that equity in cash? No, that is not how we do deals. We do seller finance for the equity if there's a lot of equity. But in this case, there is not a lot of equity. The selling price is $410,000. So quick math would say that this has $34,000 in equity. He says $35,000 takeaway. Pretty close. So immediately, what I'm seeing is that we have to pay $35,000 in equity to the seller out of our pocket in cash. Do I like that? Not really. I would like to see seller financing on that. I'd prefer to be like, hey seller, can I give you $5,000 now? And the other $30,000 I give you over the next 30 years with, I don't know, a 3 or 4% interest rate? You seller, you'd end up with $50,000, but over time. Are you willing to work with me on that? That's what I would be pitching. That's what I would be proposing, but you can't always get that. But that's what you should be trying to do. Whether you're wholesaling or investing, always try to seller finance the equity at a pretty low rate. You want to keep your cash in your pocket. But back to this deal. So we have to bring, 35 grand to the seller. Is that a lot? Well, that's about 10%. And if we have other costs like closing costs and agent commissions and assignment fees, our entry fee is gonna get too high. So that's why it's so important to limit your amount to the seller at closing. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. I don't want to poop on Scott's deal because he may be doing an absolute great job. Take that part out. Who says poop? Who says poop? Stupid. Okay, let's keep going. So now that we understand the interest rate and the loan balance, and we know that this is a sub 2 deal and not a seller finance deal, what is the next thing we look at? The PITI, the monthly expenses, and then we want to see if the property cash flows. So back to the PITI now. $2,450. That is our principal and interest, our mortgage, our taxes to the government, because the government always needs to take some of our money, and insurance. And insurance is expensive now for some reason. So $2,450. But we also have HOA costs of $1,050 a year, so about $100. So now we're at $2,550. So how much does the property rent for? Well, he doesn't say. So we would need to do our own due diligence. We would need to go on something like Rent-A-Meter to get a vague estimate, or like a Zestimate to get a vague estimate. Do not rely on those numbers. Just use them as a vague estimate, or you need to run your own comps. So what are we missing here? Well, one, we're missing the rent. I want to know how much this property cash flows as a long-term rental. Then I would also want to run the numbers for midterm housing, like a pad split. This seems way too nice for like rent by room, but still, Airbnb, maybe a wrap. I want to run my numbers for absolutely everything. But like the most important thing we're missing is, what's his assignment fee? And do we have to pay closing costs? Are there any other fees that we need to pay out of our own pocket? He's not telling us that. So we can't get the entry fee and we can't get the cash on cash return. We're missing some information, Scott. Please, Scott, tell me the information, bro. You got a great deal here. Tell me the information. But the one thing I just want to mention is, does this make any sense? This house is $410,000. Look at this house! Look at this house, dude! Look how nice this house is. How could you get a house like that for 400 grand? That doesn't buy you a tent in California. Okay, the next deal is by Ben Loreen, and congrats to Ben Loreen with his sub 2 hybrid in Chandler, Arizona. We're going all across the world today. So, Chandler, Arizona, what are we looking for first? Skip all the emojis, skip all the information, look for the interest rate. He says a blended rate of 2.65%. What's a blended rate? That means that this deal is a hybrid deal, and there is a subject to, a mortgage, and there is seller financing. And if you take those two rates together, you will get 2.65%, which is really good. But let's see what the mortgage rate is. And does he tell you what the mortgage rate is? So he's not telling you what the mortgage rate is. He's not telling you what the seller financing rate is. He's just telling you the blended rate. I'd like to see both, but whatever. It's good enough for now. We can still go ahead and look at this deal. So we know we have a good rate, but the next thing we want to look at is the loan balance, right? Let's look at those numbers. So we know that the subject to is for $180,000. The mortgage is $180,000, but the purchase price is $410,000. So wait. If the mortgage is $180,000 and the purchase price is $410,000, what happens to that difference, right? What happens to that? Quick math: $230,000. Are we going to give the seller $230,000 cash? Hell no! We're going to seller finance that. We're going to give the seller more money, but over time. And here we go. Yeah, $230,000. Quick math. And it's going to be $200 monthly payments. Ooh, 8-year balloon. I don't like to see balloons on deals. This could kill this deal. As Pace Morby says, balloons are for clowns. Do not put balloons into your deal. Oh, solar payments. We don't like buying properties with solar payments. So what's the next thing we're going to look at? Well, we're going to look at the PITI, and we're going to see if the property cash flows. So let's quickly look at the PITI. He's saying that the total monthly payment is $1,515. Now, does that include the solar finance payments? Does that include the seller finance payments? He's not really giving us all the numbers. We would want to know if the total monthly payments is actually total. Is it including everything? But I will take his word for it and think that is total. He's thinking monthly rent is $2,350. These numbers, I think something's off here. There's too much cash flow here for this to make sense to me. I would need to talk to my man, Ben Loreen. I give him the benefit of the doubt. He knows his market better than me, but I just think there's something missing here. This property shouldn't cash flow this much. Okay, so now let's just see that entry fee. He's saying $45,000 entry fee. But wait, why is there a $45,000 entry fee? And he says that's before potential assignment. So that doesn't even include his assignment fee. So the entry fee is going to be closer to $55,000 or $60,000, which is too high. So what am I missing here? Am I missing something? I told you I'm going to be doing these live. I may mess up. Honestly, I'm so confused because if we're buying this property for $410,000 and we're seller financing $230,000 and we're taking over $180,000 mortgage, that's $410,000. That's the purchase price. So how are we having an additional $45,000 out of pocket? I'm confused. Is that not the purchase price? Is the purchase price higher? Is the purchase price $455,000? Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm confused. Oh, by the way, here's the property. I forgot to show you that. That's how little I care about looking at properties. I will honestly offer deals on properties and pretty much never look at the property. I'm a numbers guy. I live and breathe numbers. If the numbers make sense to me, I just don't look at properties enough. All right, that's the only picture. It looks a little bit like a hoarder house. Maybe that $45,000 is just repairs, right? Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. Steven says, and it's an off market. So the best marketing you could ever say to a real estate investor is off market. Literally, that word just gets them so hard. Whatever, cancel me. So no rehab needed. Damn, this guy's a true marketer. It's in Santa Clarita, California. This is going to be an expensive property. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. It's been converted to a 4-bedroom. We don't care about any of that. You guys want to see the pictures? All right, I know you guys like seeing pictures. Here you go. I probably would have never even looked at the pictures. It's a nice house. This is a nice house. I mean, I don't even know what this is going to sell for. What, $1 million, $2 million, $20 million in California? I don't even know prices there. All right, beautiful house. Beautiful house. Congratulations, Steven, on the beautiful house. So let's look at the numbers. Interest rate. Remember, we start there. 3.3%. Great job, Steven. What a great rate. All right. I'm proud of my boy, Steven. Let's see what's next. So what's the loan balance? Loan balance is $764,000. Oh, God, these houses are expensive. What's the asking price? $915,000. Okay, it's not as expensive. This is a cheap house for California. This is really cheap. So if we do some quick math, what is the equity the seller has? We take the asking price and we subtract it by the loan balance. That's about $150,000, correct? If I'm right about that? Yes, I am right about that. $151,000. So now that we know that this is a subject to deal and there's $151,000 in equity, how are we paying that equity? I hope we're doing seller finance. If I have to come out of pocket $151,000 cash to the seller, I'm not going to be happy. So let's see. Okay, cash to the seller is $115,000. Oh, there's $36,000 in arrears. That makes sense. Okay, so our seller here stopped making his mortgage payments, and I don't blame him. His house is expensive. So his house is about to get foreclosed on. The bank's about to take it. They're about to destroy his credit, and he's about to lose a ton of money. So Steven here is a hero. He says, yo, seller, bro, I got you. I'm going to save you. Let me purchase or wholesale your home subject to. I got you, bro. And this is a great solution for the seller. But is this a good deal? Let's see. So cash to the seller is a little bit high. I want to see financing there. I'd much rather see 15 grand to the seller or just enough to get the seller back on his feet. I don't even know if you can rent something for 15 grand in California, but just, enough money to get the seller back on his feet, get him in a new place that he's renting, and then finance him the rest of the money. Give him 150 grand, give him $200,000, but over time. Don't take this money out of your pocket. So here's his problem with this deal. You have to give the seller 115 grand cash, and you have to pay $36,000 in arrears. Cash out of your pocket. So we're at 150 grand. So yeah, that 151 grand we were talking about, that's coming out of the buyer's pocket. And this deal is going to be tough to wholesale. So although he has a great rate, the cash out of pocket is just too high. And I can assure you, this property is not going to cash flow. Even with a 3.3% rate, this property is not going to cash flow. And do you know why? Because California. Nothing cash flows in California. I don't know why people buy real estate in California. They better get that appreciation because it does not cash flow. And if we look at the comments, let's just see what the comments say. Okay, we got a lot of comments. Is it going to be something interesting? Is it possible to catch up on the arrears and get cash to seller lower? There you go. Jordan's got the right idea. So how can you catch up on the arrears? You can do something called like a loan modification. Again, for another video, but it's a cool trick you can potentially use to get those arrears down and get them financed back into the loan. I am afraid no. Steven, as there are a lot of interested buyers who are ready to give even more. Whoa, okay, maybe I'm dead wrong. Hey, yo, I ain't the guru of this stuff. If there's people who want to buy these deals, congratulations. If there's a dude with $151,000 cash in his pocket, which there's a bunch of them in California, I don't know the California market well enough, then this is probably a great deal for them. But if you really want to make your life easy as a wholesaler or a real estate investor, make sure you're doing hybrid deals. Make sure you're doing subject to and seller financing the equity. Always just do that. Shout out to Steven. I hope he wholesaled this deal. I hope he made his big bucks. Do we even know what his assignment fee is? Did he even say? Steven, you got to put your assignment fee out there, dude. Tell people how much you're going to make. No shame. Be proud of it. Oh, dude, that PITI is $5,045. I mean, maybe this property would cash flow. Yeah, maybe it would rent for $6,000 or more. So hey, maybe this is a great deal for some people, but not for me because too much cash out of pocket. I'm JVing on a subject to deal in Florida, so I can quickly get through one more deal. So let's just quickly run through one more. I'm having so much fun doing this. So Diego Salazar, congrats to Diego Salazar with his Fort Worth subject to deal. Hey, that's in my backyard. All right, Fort Worth. This is my stomping ground. Let's skip all this stuff. Interest rate, what is it? Bam, 5.2%. That's too high. Now, is this a deal breaker? Maybe not, but that's a high rate. And if I see rates in the fives, I don't even usually try to get the deals. But let's see. Again, benefit of the doubt. Let's keep on going. What is the selling price? What's the selling price? I don't know. So loan balance is $173,000. Listed at 265. I'm blind. So we have a gap there. I'm not going to try to even do that math. And how are we going to pay that gap? We want to seller finance that. Always. We want to seller finance that. We don't want to come out of pocket cash. I think you're finally starting to learn what I'm saying, right? It's a repeat. I'm saying the same thing every time. So they have $9,000 in arrears. Arrears is a fancy word for saying they haven't made their payments. Like my dog Soup. He doesn't pay rent. His arrears right now are in the tens of thousands of dollars. And these people are not paying their mortgage. They're not paying their principal and interest. They're not paying their taxes. They're not paying their insurance. So they are behind on their payments. And when you buy a property subject to, those arrears are your responsibility. More often than not, you're going to have to come out of pocket that $9,338. I mean, the seller's not going to pay them. Because he's got no money. He's not making his mortgage payments already. That's why he's selling his house. So you're going to have to pay them. And that gets expensive. Okay, this deal is really interesting. So first position is always the mortgage. And second position, you usually have seller financing or some sort of other weird lien. And in this case, we have a HUD partial claim lien. This is a different deal. Wow. So that means that the first 225,000-ish is all just debt. Okay, 220 to 225,000. And it says you can take over this HUD partial claim lien subject to. I wonder what the interest rate is on this HUD lien. I don't think he's saying. We need to ask Diego some more information. This is a pretty complicated deal. When you see deals like this, don't worry if you're confused, because I'm confused too. You're supposed to be confused. You have to dig into these types of deals and get more information. Okay, so $5,000 cash to the seller. The seller's getting a little bit of cash, probably to get back on their feet. Totally great. And the realtor, it's an on-market deal, so there's a realtor, and they're getting $6,600. That's what we don't like buying on-market properties. Not only do you have to deal with real estate agents, I'm a realtor, I get it. Not only do you have to deal with annoying people like me, you have to pay us. And that's $6,600. That's making your deal harder to wholesale or even to invest, right? It's just more money out of your pocket. $3,000 in closing costs. We have our $9,000 in arrears. $12,000 assignment. Very fair. Oh, here's my call. $12,000 assignment. That's a fair assignment fee. It's not something crazy. Then $800 for a transaction coordinator. All right, so your entry fee is $36,763. So is that a lot? Well, again, let's look at the purchase price. The purchase price is $265,000. So this is well over 10%. And yeah, that's a pretty high entry fee. So what's good about this deal and what's bad? Well, the interest rate's a little too high. The entry fee is a little bit too high. And I don't really know what the interest rate is on this HUD partial claim lien, and I need to get more information on it. And I don't even know what it rents for. So I see that the monthly expenses are about $2,000. But does that include the HUD partial lien claim thing and the financing to them? Probably not. I don't know. And what does it rent for? So I need more information. But from what I'm seeing, I don't think this is a great deal. No hate, Diego. Let's at least look at the house and see. I mean, it's a really nice house. You know what? It looks like a flip. And it looks like a flip gone wrong, unfortunately. You see that a lot. You hate to see it. I hate when I see people lose money. But when I see this type of, the grayish floors and the white everything and the black accents, it just looks like a flip. So hopefully the sellers make out okay. Hopefully, maybe Diego gets his money and gets paid. We hope everyone always wins in these types of deals. But this is not such a great deal. So that's it with this video. Soup is obviously very happy right now, licking my arm, and I am very happy I got to make this video. I hope my chaotic energy helped you better understand how to analyze a creative finance deal. I want to give a big shout out to all these people who did an amazing job wholesaling these deals. Yeah, I nitpicked you, but hopefully that was helpful. But you guys all did a great job, and you guys all got pretty good deals. Some excellent, some good. But all in all, I hope you guys assigned these deals. I hope you made a lot of money, and I love to see everybody helping each other in creative finance. You're helping these sellers who are in hard positions, and you, the wholesaler, are helping these buyers get great deals. It's a win-win-win, and that's why I love creative finance, and I love this community. So like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Say bye, Soup. Say bye.